कोई अगर हमारे कंट्री पे अटैक करता है, हमें थ्रेट करता है, तो हम चाहते हैं कि हमारा कंट्री, हमारे लीडर्स उसको उसी फोर्स से उसका रिप्लाई दे, वो भी पलट के अटैक करें या फिर वो भी और बड़ा थ्रेट उन्हें दे। ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देना। एन एक्ट ऑफ एग्रेशन शुड बी मेट विद बिगर एग्रेशन। दैट्स वॉट वी आर टॉट, दैट्स वॉट वी थिंक इज राइट, बट इज इट रियली राइट? क्या ये सही है? एक ऐसी सिचुएशन जॉन एफ कैनेडी के सामने 1962 में अराइज हुई। उस टाइम पे वो यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका के प्रेसिडेंट थे और यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स और सोवियत यूनियन में कोल्ड वार चल रहा था। और उसी टाइम पे उसी कोल्ड वार के बीच में CIA, जो कि इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसी है USA की, उन्होंने आइडेंटिफाई किए मीडियम और लॉन्ग रेंज बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल्स क्यूबा आइलैंड पे, जो कि अमेरिका से कुछ 90 माइल से दूर था। और वो हर एक मिसाइल जो उन्होंने वहाँ पे आइडेंटिफाई किया था, बीट मीडियम रेंज और लार्ज रेंज, वो हर एक मिसाइल केपेबल था अमेरिका को किसी भी टाइम स्ट्राइक करने के लिए। दिस इज वॉट वी नाउ नो एज क्यूबन मिसाइल क्राइसिस। शायद आपने सुना होगा इसके बारे में। उस टाइम पे जब CIA ने कैनेडी को इन्फॉर्म किया, जब ये सब हुआ, कैनेडी की पोजीशन इतनी ज़्यादा अच्छी नहीं थी, उनकी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ज़्यादा अच्छी नहीं जा रही थी। उन्होंने क्यूबा को इन्वेट करने का ट्राई किया था एंड ओवरथ्रो करने का ट्राई किया था फिडल कैस्ट्रो को, जो उस टाइम के रिवॉल्यूशनरी लीडर थे क्यूबा के, एंड दैट डिडंट गो वेल, ही लॉस्ट एम्बेरसिंगली। He was also diplomatically dominated by Nikita Khrushchev, who was the Soviet Union leader. So not the best time of his life to be in such a difficult situation. कैनेडी के सभी एडवाइजर्स ने यही एडवाइस किया कि इस एग्रेशन के बदले में हम बहुत ज़्यादा एग्रेशन दिखाएंगे, हम सारे मिसाइल्स को डिस्ट्रॉय करेंगे पूरे पावर से, एंड सिर्फ वो नहीं करेंगे, हम क्यूबा को भी इन्वेट करेंगे। यही हमें सिखाया जाता है ना, ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देना, एन एक्ट ऑफ एग्रेशन मीटिंग विद अ मोर एग्रेसिव एक्शन। कैनेडी के फादर भी ये कहते थे, डोंट गेट मैड, गेट इवन। बट fate of millions depended on him. Fate of millions depended on his shoulder, and one act of aggression had the potential of wiping the entire humankind. But Kennedy didn't let all this get to him, and he pushed back. He asked everyone, all his advisors, to slow down and really think about the situation. Because अगर एक leader ये पूरा नहीं सोचेगा, if leader just goes with his guts and does not think situation thoroughly, then who will? There's this passage in a book review by Kennedy. It goes like this: keep strong if possible. In any case, keep cool. Have unlimited patience. Never corner an opponent and always assist him to save face. Put yourself in his shoes so as to see things through his eyes. Avoid self-righteousness like the devil, for nothing is so self-blinding. So this thing, putting yourself in someone else's shoes, became Kennedy's motto. He asked his advisor to think from Soviet's point of view. वो लोग ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हैं? ये करके वो कौन सा एडवांटेज चाहते हैं? What is their end game? What do they want to get out of it? Because no one would take such a drastic step for nothing. After all the research, after all the thinking, it became clear to Kennedy that Soviet did this because they considered him weak. But ऐसा नहीं था कि वो खुद बहुत ज़्यादा strong थे। अगर वो खुद इतने strong होते तो इतना desperate act नहीं करते। So armed with this knowledge, Kennedy started preparing a plan of action with his team. Now, one of the most obvious action was the military action, but Kennedy decided against it. He went for the blockade of Cuba against the advice of half of his advisors who wanted a more aggressive action on his part. But Kennedy decided on this action because he wanted to give space and time to both sides so they can consider their options and also the ramifications of every decision that they make. Now, this was a man who was surprised by an act of nuclear aggression by a superpower. Fate of millions rested on his shoulders. People were questioning his courage, but he did not let any of it control the situation. He did not let his ego or that of his team run the situation. This blockade was not the end of the story. He also announced a 500-mile no-go zone around Cuba. Till 100,000 troops had to be readied in Florida as contingency. An American U-2 spy plane was shot down in Cuba. Russian tanker ships and submarines surfaced. Both superpowers were eye to eye. Things escalating 1 or 2 steps was not the concern. एक superpower ने कुछ किया, दूसरे ने उसको react करके कुछ और किया. This reaction can keep going on, but if things get escalated to 5th or 6th step, things can get hazardous, and that's what Kennedy feared. But the time and space Kennedy gave to Khrushchev paid off. 11 days into the crisis, he received a letter from his Soviet counterparts saying that the harder and more aggressive they'll get, the war will become more inevitable. In his own words, if people do not display statesmanlike wisdom, they will eventually reach the point where clash like blind moles and then mutual annihilation will commence. The war was over as quickly as it began. रशिया ने अपने टैंकर शिप्स रोक दिए. They agreed to negotiate and remove their missiles. America also pledged that they won't invade Cuba. In secret, America also agreed to remove their missiles from Turkey, giving Russia a win too. Remember that passage we talked about earlier? Always assist him, the opponent, to save face. So with clear thinking, patience and wisdom, Kennedy saved the world from nuclear holocaust. There's a very important life lesson to learn here. Each and every one of us face crisis at some time or other. A failing marriage, company about to go bankrupt, career at crossroad. It is very easy to take the most plausible step, often wrong. It is very easy to go with the gut. But what's tough and also very essential is to look at the present situation deeply, to understand the situation without letting our ego dominate. The action that will arise out of clear thinking, calm and open mind will be far more better, far more effective than that will arise out of emotional, reactive and unthinking mind. I read about this and learned this amazing life lesson from the book Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. Hope this video was helpful, and if it was, do share it with others as well. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in my next. Bye bye.